So your website is not generating any leads, despite all of the paid traffic that you're throwing at it. Well, the reality is your website is not likely generating any leads because your messaging is off. So if you keep pouring money down this rabbit hole of digital marketing without actually addressing the root cause of the issue, which is your messaging, you're likely gonna blow through a boatload more of your ad budget. Emmanuel here, and in this video, I want to break down the real estate sales funnel so that you can better address your overall digital marketing strategy. All right, sales funnels. I am sure you have heard of them. What I'm not sure of is if you truly understand how they work in the context of inbound marketing when it comes to digital marketing for real estate. You see, sales funnels are no more than identifying each of the different steps that a prospect needs to take in order for them to actually become a client. What's often misunderstood by most agents, especially the ones that don't really have a true marketing background, is that each step of the sales funnel requires its own strategy and its own campaign. And my goal for today's video is to help you understand how the sales funnel looks like and better provide you with a few tips on what needs to be executed at each level of said sales funnel so that you will be better informed when it comes to planning out your digital marketing campaigns. Now, before I get into it, please make sure you click that like button, you click that subscribe button and the bell icon because you know it helps out the channel. It obviously helps out the video, and you are an amazing person for doing it. Good karma on you. Thank you so much in advance. All right, to kick things off, I first want to break down what exactly a sales funnel looks like, so let me hop into my iPad. Now, while some sales funnels tend to get quite complex with multiple layers, I want to give you just the basic premise, and depending on how you want to approach your digital marketing efforts, you can start breaking down your sales funnel a little bit more granularly. And it really starts by understanding the different components of the sales funnel. The first component is the top of the sales funnel. Then we work our way down to the middle of the sales funnel, then we work our way down to the bottom, and then of course we have the win, which is the client conversion at the very tip of the funnel. So you're definitely trying to go down toward this direction. And in terms of defining what a conversion is, this is essentially a prospect that has now turned into a client that you can represent in either a purchase or a sale. I should also add that the conversion process, the part down here, the win, does require its own messaging and its own strategy as well, but I'm not gonna get into that today. I'm gonna save it for another video. Now, if we look contextually at the nomenclature that is often used to describe the sales funnel, the other way that you can think of it is what you have here is, let me do this. What you have here is the top of the sales funnel, which is also known as a cold lead. And then when you work your way to the middle of the sales funnel, that's essentially what's considered a warm lead. And then at the very bottom of the sales funnel, we have the hot lead. Now, what you have to understand is that your goal is to move your prospect down the sales funnel into eventually becoming a client, or what's often referred to in the digital marketing world as a conversion. Each level of the sales funnel requires different messaging simply because each layer of the sales funnel is designed to essentially push the prospect down to the next level. And what's often missed when it comes to most agents in their digital marketing strategy is that they're throwing out a bunch of content without a proper understanding of the actual sales funnel structure and what questions need to be answered in each layer of that funnel. So to kick things off, I now want to discuss the psychology of a lead so you better understand what exactly you need to create. In terms of the top of the sales funnel, the main narrative that a prospect understands is that they have a problem. So the narrative in terms of the type of messaging you need to put out at the top of the sales funnel is all about addressing that you know that they have a problem and that you've identified their problem. So if we were to look at this contextually, a perfect example would be if there is someone that's facing foreclosure and you're creating messaging specifically targeting that particular problem. All right, let's get back to the next level. Now, the middle of the funnel is all about aligning the prospect with our beliefs and principles. And in terms of the psyche for this particular lead, it's that they probably have, at this point now in the middle of the funnel, have heard of who you are, and they want to actually know if you can solve the problem. All right, the perfect example of this would be, again, going back to that foreclosure topic, letting them know that we understand the problem and we have a belief system or a set of principles or a process that we currently own, a proprietary process that we own that can solve their problem. And then from there, it's all about articulating that message for that exact fix to that prospect's problem. Alrighty, let's get back into it. The last part of the funnel is the bottom of the funnel, which is all about building the relationship. Now, the messaging in terms of this part of the funnel is simply for you to provide your prospects with not you being the best option for them, but you being the least risky option. All right, going back to the foreclosure example and also thinking about the messaging and that we have to build relationships at the bottom of the funnel, it's all about curating that conversation with your prospect. And at this point, you have to prove to your prospect that you know exactly what you're doing and you have some sort of evidence to show for it. All right, now what I want to do is discuss the actual strategies that you can deploy at each level of the sales funnel. So let's kick things off. Okay, so first let's talk about the top of the sales funnel. Now, the goal here is that you have to make sure that the prospect knows that you understand that they have a problem. And if we're talking about digital marketing, the easy way to present this is by using a number of different platforms. Now, those platforms can include Google Ads, Facebook ads, YouTube, what else we got? Instagram, LinkedIn, your blog. Pretty much for the most part, any social media platform that you can be used for really kind of showcasing the message that you understand the problem. Now, as we move down to the middle of the sales funnel, it's all about aligning our principles and our beliefs with their problem. So it's all about relaying the message that not only do we understand their problem, but we have a solution. The main thing I want to point out is that in order to move a top of funnel prospect into the bottom of the funnel, it's going to cost them. And that's simply because you're now going to be providing value in terms of a solution to their problem. And the currency for this is in the form of a name and an email and a telephone that you can now use to start nurturing that prospect. Now, in terms of middle of funnel messaging, think about doing things like a webinar or a training or a free Facebook group. And of course, once you have their email, you can now start considering using email campaigns or email drips. And then as we move into the bottom of the sales funnel, it's all about building that relationship. And the currency that a prospect needs to pay in order to move them from the middle of the sales funnel into the bottom of the sales funnel is all about scheduling a call with you. Because if there's one thing that we have to remember, it is that conversions happen in conversations. And that is why the bottom of the sales funnel is all about communication. Typically, when a prospect is in this part of the sales funnel, it's because they understand that they have a problem and they know that you have a solution. So now it's your job to have a conversation with that prospect and let them know that you are, as I mentioned earlier, the least riskiest option to help them out. So really, the bottom of the sales funnel starts with a conversation and continues with ongoing email nurturing or maybe SMS text messaging or things like that to really have or add that one-on-one touch of authenticity to really make that prospect feel appreciated. And then from there, by that time, hopefully you've generated enough of a positive influence with that prospect that they will choose to work with you. Alrighty, to wrap things up, if you're just throwing ads and social media posts out there to try to generate some business and not really having any rhyme or reason to what you're posting, chances are you are not going to get any leads. you truly have to take a step back and analyze your sales funnel to figure out what your messaging is that you're trying to relate, and then from there, figure out what platforms you want to promote that message through. By the way, quick pro tip that you guys have to consider when you're looking at your sales funnel, and that is you're likely going to be spending a ton of money at the top of the sales funnel as you try to get as many people into that funnel as possible. And as you continue to nurture those prospects down the funnel, the cost for nurturing and pushing them down the funnel is actually going to be a lot cheaper. I should also add that you nurture the most people at the top of the sales funnel, and as you work your way down the sales funnel, it's going to be less and less people. By the way, if you have trouble with any of your digital marketing as well as your messaging, please feel free to reach out. Both myself and my team do this on the regular, and we will be happy to help you out. Aside from that, thank you so much for watching straight through to the end of this video. I hope you found it helpful. That being said, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.